You're about to make a major decision. Quit your job, take the offer, start the business, walk away from the promotion you worked 10 years for, and you're telling yourself this is about burnout. It's not. You don't feel dramatic. You don't feel unstable. You feel flat. You wake up tired even after sleeping. You hit goals and feel nothing. You look at your calendar and feel a quiet resistance you can't explain. And here's the uncomfortable part. If you make your next move from this state, you will recreate this feeling somewhere else. New title, same fog. New company, same quiet dread. New environment, same internal pressure. The decision in front of you isn't just about career, it's about alignment. And the window to get this right is smaller than you think.
The real-world scenario.
Let's make this concrete. You're competent, reliable, probably the strong one in your circle. You've built a solid career, good income, clear trajectory, respect. On paper, you're doing well, but lately, you stare at your screen longer before starting. Small tasks feel heavier than they should. You fantasize about escape more than growth. Promotions feel like obligations instead of opportunities. You've started searching. How do high achievers deal with burnout? Why does success make me more anxious? How do I know what I really want? You don't want therapy. You don't want a breakdown. You want clarity. So now you're considering a major shift. Leaving your job, taking a lower paying but meaningful role, starting over in a new industry, relocating to reset. It feels urgent, but here's the mechanism most people miss.
The hidden pattern beneath the career decision.
This isn't about workload, it's about identity. For years, your identity has been performance-based. You are valuable because you deliver. You are safe because you achieve. You are respected because you handle it. Over time, something subtle happens. You stop asking, "What do I want?" and start asking, "What would the competent version of me choose?" That shift is small, but it compounds. You build a life optimized for external coherence, not internal congruence. You become the reliable one, the calm one, the capable one. And slowly, you detach from your own signals. Not dramatically, quietly. You don't collapse, you perform. That's the trap. When performance stays high, misalignment hides.
Why success didn't fix it.
You thought the next milestone would settle the tension. It didn't. Because milestones don't correct misalignment. They reinforce it. Every achievement built on a misaligned identity strengthens the structure that's draining you. You are not exhausted from effort. You are exhausted from maintaining a version of yourself that no longer fits. That's why sleep doesn't fix it. That's why vacation doesn't fix it. That's why productivity hacks don't fix it. The system itself is off-center, and now you want to make a big move to escape the feeling. But here's the risk. If the internal driver doesn't change, the external change becomes cosmetic. You don't need a new job. You need to understand who is choosing the job.
The cost of acting from misalignment.
Let's talk about cost. If you leave impulsively, you may recreate the same dynamic in a new setting. If you stay passively, resentment compounds quietly. If you numb it, you detach further from your own clarity. Misalignment has compound interest. It shows up as emotional numbness, irritability at small things, loss of creative energy, decision fatigue, subtle envy of people who seem alive. The longer you operate from the wrong center, the harder it becomes to detect what right feels like. This isn't about happiness, it's about coherence. And coherence is harder to rebuild the longer you override it.
Decision. Windows are real.
Here's what most high performers misunderstand. Major life decisions have windows, not deadlines imposed by the outside, but psychological windows. Right now, you are aware. You feel tension. You're questioning. You're considering change. This is a window. If you ignore it long enough, one of two things happens. You adapt to the misalignment and numb out further. The decision gets forced by burnout, conflict, or crisis. Neither is strategic. Clarity is strongest before collapse. Right now, you still have cognitive bandwidth. You can examine the pattern without chaos. That won't always be true.
The real question you're avoiding.
It's not, should I quit? It's, who have I been performing as? Because if your identity is built around being the strong one, the capable one, the dependable one, then even your exit can become performance. I'll leave in the most impressive way. I'll pivot into something equally respectable. I'll make sure this still looks coherent. That's not freedom. That's controlled escape. If you don't identify the internal rule set driving you, your next move will obey the same rules. different environment, same architecture.
How misalignment quietly hardens.
The longer you delay clarity, the more your life organizes around the current structure. Financial commitments increase. Expectations increase. Reputation solidifies. Identity calcifies. Your margin for experimentation narrows. You start telling yourself, it's too late to pivot. I've invested too much. This is just adulthood. That's how alignment windows close. Not dramatically, gradually. And when you finally move, it's reactive instead of intentional.
This is not about blowing up your life.
Misalignment doesn't automatically mean quit. Sometimes alignment requires staying, but differently. Sometimes it requires boundary shifts, sometimes renegotiation, sometimes a full exit. But without clarity, all options feel equally foggy. High achievers hate fog. You want a clean decision. That requires seeing the pattern clearly, not medicating it, not motivating through it, not ignoring it, understanding it.
The internal split.
Right now, there are two forces in you. The performer. Keep going. Don't destabilize. Be rational. Don't overreact. The aligned self. Something's off. This isn't sustainable. I want more than this. I can't keep overriding this feeling. If the performer wins automatically, you stay stuck. If the aligned self acts impulsively, you create chaos. The goal isn't to silence either. It's to understand them.
The responsible move.
You don't make a major life decision from fog. You make it from clarity. Clarity isn't dramatic. It's precise. It identifies what you're actually avoiding, what you're actually craving, what you're actually afraid to admit. Before you send that resignation email, before you accept that offer, before you relocate, you owe yourself 10 minutes of structured clarity. Not journaling, not spiraling, not asking friends. Structured reflection that isolates the misalignment mechanism. If you do nothing, the current pattern continues. If you recognize this and still act from fog, you reinforce the loop. Awareness without action hardens the cycle. Before you make your next big move, use the Vire mirror. 10 minutes, direct questions. No therapy language, no hype, just clarity about who is making your decisions. Click the link in the description. Do it before you change your life, not after.